The mind space right now is I'm in a good mind space. I was definitely very nervous before the film came out, like a few days before the film came out. Um, I think having Sunny sir, Varun, and Diljit sir as support has really helped me. Coming to that 4 year gap between Tadap and now, that was a very difficult time. Patience was needed for that time. A lot of patience, a lot of support from my family and my friends was very important for me. Like I said earlier, it was difficult, but I don't want to look back and regret anything. Everything that has happened has brought me to where I am today. I keep saying there's no growth without pain. Um, and yeah, right now I'm in a good mind space. Border's doing very well. The entire cast is getting a lot of appreciation and love. My director as well. So yeah, just feeling good, feeling happy, and just looking forward to what's to come.
And it's said that no one knows across the world how to make a great film or a good film. Because
Right.
they know no one would make a bad film.
Right.
When you're working in a something, and this is for every artist,
Right.
whether they are a painter or a musician, who don't know the end output, how it would
Right.
turn out, if people would like it, will it become a cult, or will have it eternal shelf life.
Right.
While you were working on this film, putting your head down, going day in, day out, how did you calm yourself down, or because of the anxiety?
Right.
Because there's huge ensemble star cast around.
Definitely.
The film title itself is, an entire generation goes by it. The songs are so great. How did you manage to sail through when you were working on this film?
I think, like you said, I just kept my head down and just worked hard. I was trying to be honest to myself in terms of my craft. I was trying to be honest to my audience in terms of what I was giving them. And I think another important thing was Anurag sir had a certain vision. I just had to surrender to his vision. If I started to think that, I should do this, I should do that, it might kind of break the flow of the film. And obviously also having Sunny sir, Varun and Diljit sir a part of the film. So I just kind of went with what Anurag sir told me to do and what my producers told me to do, and also the support and backing of Varun and Diljit and Sunny sir. That really helped me. In order to calm my mind and my nerves, I think, every day after set, Varun and I would go back, kind of train together, then have dinner and just relax, and then off to bed for the next day. So there were a lot of things we were doing offset as well that would just ease things for me and made that a lot easier. That whole process for me a lot easier.
And in a film like Border, everything has to be perfect because you're telling these stories of national heroes.
Right.
While you were portraying this character, what you must have in your mind that no matter what, I should not let go of these key points while I'm portraying this character.
Right.
This has to be there while I'm delivering it.
Yeah, definitely. I think playing a naval officer, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with it, and for me it was very important that I have the right body language, speak the right way, the responsibility that they carry as officers had to come across on screen. So for me, it was just, again, being honest to my character and trying to portray it to the best of my abilities. What was, something that I really wanted to be particular about, like I said earlier, was the body language and the demeanor and the attitude and just kind of represent them in a way to show how much they sacrifice for our nation without truly thinking about themselves. That was something that was very important to me.
And Border 2, it caters to a different battle within the 1971 war.
Right.
For people from my generation, the millennials, we thought Nojawala is only in the 1970s.
Right,
but
right.
when you read through the script, I'm sure you must have unraveled the story behind as you went forward with
Right.
education, self-reading and everything.
Right.
What were structural differences between Border and Border 2 that you came across?
See, structural differences, not much, because it was based on the same war. Obviously, we were showing different sectors and different, areas that the war was being fought. So I don't think there were any structural changes as such. Obviously, when they shot Border 1, it was a very different time period, and they didn't have the kind of technology that we did now. And I mean, if you look back at the film now, you look at it and you're like, wow, they actually shot this in 1995. Like the way JP sir has shot that film, it is unbelievable. With the live blasts and the tanks, and it looked, it looked real because it was real. So hats off to them, and I know, Dad has told me a lot of stories about how they shot. Sunny sir was telling us a lot about how they shot. And just it's funny to see how times have changed. Funny and also very interesting to understand how times have changed from when they were shooting and now how we were shooting. But I think, in terms of Border 1 comparison, Border 2 comparisons, those will always be there. But it's also important to know that as a cast and as a crew, we never wanted to compare ourselves to Border 1 because no one can. Original is an original. So yeah, I'm just very happy to be a part of Border 2 and to be able to, carry the film's legacy forward as well as my father's legacy.
And I want to know about the moment when you donned that naval uniform on your uniform. Men, women across the age, they all fall on their knees for a uniform. Because there's a huge sense of respect. There's a responsibility also that comes along with wearing it.
Definitely.
What to deliver in front of the camera, delivering in front of the camera. What that uniform did to your mind, and how did it shape up your thought process?
Right. Like you said, there's a lot of respect and responsibility that comes from playing a naval officer and wearing that uniform. Even when I wasn't in front of the camera, just being able to wear that naval uniform, that meant a lot to me. So automatically my body language changed and the way I was going about things changed. I think it was very important for me to meet certain people, like naval officers, army officers, to kind of understand their upbringing, how they, are in their day-to-day lives. So I just kind of went about it, just trying to be true to how they are in their real lives. Like I said earlier, just trying to be honest to them and trying to portray them to the best of my ability, at least.
And did you think about any stress training activity to increase your reaction time or increase the way you react?
No, I think so. I've been training for a very, very long time, and I used to train with someone who was an ex-army, who was a part of the army earlier. So, certain gestures and maneuvers have come from that training as well. And I think for this film especially, like the underwater portions were very important to us, and I had to do a little diving training for that as well. I have my PADI license for diving and stuff, but that sequence was a very interesting sequence because we shot it in a gigantic pool. It was a massive pool where we submerged a set. The set was submerged around 15-20 feet underwater, and when we were inside the set, it was completely covered from the top to manage the light. So we had to have a complete dive team underwater, providing me oxygen whenever I was taking the shots. But that was a great experience, and just to go about that and go about training for that sequence was very unique for me.
And I want to touch upon that diving license that you just spoke about.
Right.
When did you kind of get that diving license, and how it happened eventually?
So I got my PADI license back in 2020 during COVID. So I had my PADI license, and I'm a good swimmer. Like I used to be a part of the swimming team and stuff in school. So for me, being underwater was quite easy. So when they said that this is going to happen, I was very excited. I was like, cool, yeah, let's do it. So when Anurag sir narrated the film to me, I knew that these portions were going to be a part of the film. So so we started training around 2 months before we shot that sequence, just so that everything underwater will be much easier. Certain people did tend to panic underwater who weren't used to being underwater for so long. But I think it went off very smoothly. We had a great dive team, great safety team that was on set with us, and went off very smoothly. And I think on screen it's looking great. So I'm very happy.
And you said you're a swimmer. Now,
right.
I consider swimming as one of the best exercises for any person.
Definitely.
Whole of the body trains.
Definitely.
Stronger. But that's from a normal, general human being point of view. For
Yeah.
an actor, how
Yeah.
does swimming tune their mind and body?
See, for me, I think it also is kind of like therapy. It just kind of shuts out all the noise, and I'm just focusing, whether that be in the gym or if I'm playing cricket or paddle or football or swimming. Also, because of the amount of activity we do um, in our day-to-day lives, swimming helps put less stress on the body, but still helps tone the body in a great way. So I think that's a very, very important exercise, and I love doing my ice baths as well. That also helps release some stress and anxiety, and definitely has a lot of benefits in terms of recovery for the body. So I guess just being underwater for me benefits me emotionally, mentally, and physically.
And for my next question, working with Sunil sir in a title like Border 2,
Right.
I'm sure you must be scared somewhere around, you have to deliver with him in the same film.
Right.
What was that like? How did you maneuver that space?
So, I mean, that last scene that was there, unfortunately, we weren't able to shoot that together. But yeah, if I think about him being a part of Border 1 and then me being a part of Border 2, I knew there were always going to be comparisons. And then I also had that very special scene that I had to do that he had done in the first film. That made me very, very nervous, I'm not going to lie. I knew those comparisons were going to come. I knew that pressure was going to be there, and I also had that feeling of that responsibility of carrying his legacy forward. But for me, I try my best not to let that noise get into my head, not to let that pressure build up in me. Because if I do that, then I know that I'll start behaving a certain way. I'll start doing things very differently, thinking about, him or his fans. So like I've always been saying, I just try to be true to myself, honest to myself, and honest to my audience. And I think, from the love and appreciation that I've been getting over the past few days, ever since the release of the film, I guess I've done a good job. And I guess people are accepting me, and are accepting me, carrying my father's legacy forward.
And moving forward, every artist has their own process of dealing with the nervous energy.
Right.
Before delivering an artwork or before delivering a scene, they may tend to talk a lot more instead of that energy, or they might get into this loop of overthinking.
Right.
What is your process of dealing with the nervous energy?
So before a scene, I tend to just listen to music. I just put on noise cancelling headphones, and I just either sit in the van or sit in the tent by myself, and I'm listening to music. And then music also is the genre of music I play has to connect with the scene I'm about to take part in. So that's what I tend to do, and I kind of block out all the noise, not just the pressure noise, but there's all kinds of noise, and just kind of focus on myself and what I'm about to do. So that's how I try to manage that nervous energy. Obviously, that nervousness and anxiety will still be there before I'm giving the shot. More confident, and I think hopefully my next film I don't feel that nervous and that kind of anxiety before I'm giving my shot.
And this reminds me of a very wonderful thing that Ranbir Kapoor once spoke about. He said that whenever he gets into a film, he has this perfume for that whole film, so that kind of wires his mind to that character.
Right.
Is music the same for you?
Yeah, I have a playlist for every film. I mean, not for every film. I've only done 2 films, but yeah, I have a playlist that I listen to. And then again, for each scene that I'm about to take part in, there's a certain song that I listen to that kind of fits the mood of that scene. So yeah, I guess for me, it's music, and I think music for me is therapeutic. So that's how I go about a film, I guess you could say.
And which is your favorite genre in music?
Favorite genre in music? I would say I don't have a favorite genre. I think I listen to all kinds of music. For me, I love the acoustic guitar. So any acoustic cover of certain songs is what I really enjoy listening to.
Mostly reggaeton, if I may say so.
No. I mean, I listen to a lot of Hindi Bollywood music, a lot of Punjabi music, a lot of R&B, hip hop. So it's a mix. It's a mix of things. I tend not to listen to like trance music or like house music and stuff, because I just feel like that's a little too overstimulating for me, especially in the industry I'm in. But yeah, otherwise I enjoy all kinds of music.
And for my last question, Arijit, one of the biggest singers of our country, he
Ji.
announced his retirement from playtime.
Ji.
Of course, he would do stage shows, his production.
Of course,
things.
yeah.
But as a fellow artist who has heard his music for a very long time, 10, 15 years now, who has kind of felt his voice trickling into every aspect of your own life.
Right.
How does it feel for him to take that part, to see him take that part?
I mean, it's sad. It's sad that, we're not going to be able to I mean, I know, like you said, he has his shows and stuff like that, but to be able to hear his voice in our films, I think he's become such an integral part of a lot of movies and an integral part of our culture in a way, So it is sad, but, I feel like maybe he has a certain reasoning behind the decision he's made that we don't know about. So I always like to, think in terms of the artist, even though we might feel sad. Maybe this is the step that he feels is the right one for him. So I'm very happy for him. I respect his decision, and I do want to say that we will miss you. But we're looking forward for everything that's to come from him, and I know he has a lot to offer. In terms of stage shows and composing and stuff like that, but yeah, it's sad. But he probably has a reason as to why he made this decision.
And quickly for my last question, do you see this as an evolutionary step for the industries to go and try out new singers, new artists, actors, composers, everything?
I mean, definitely. I think even if Arijit sir wasn't retiring, I think it is very important for new singers and new directors and new actors to keep coming into our industry, because we can't stick to just one thing over and over again. I think it's very important to diversify ourselves in a way, and also just to give opportunities to new people. I think that's very, very important, and that allows us as an industry to grow as well and to reach certain parts of the world as well. Like Diljit sir. He's a global superstar now. He's representing India in terms of music. So I'm very grateful that I had the chance to work with him. And I know him and I have a great relationship, and I'll always respect him for what he has done for our country. Perfect.
We have reached the end of this conversation. If there's anything that I may have missed asking about the film or anything in general, or if there's anything that you want to talk about,
Right.
please feel free.
No, I just, all the love and appreciation that I'm getting, I'm very grateful for, and I'm very thankful for. It's been a very long and tough journey over the last 4 or 5 years, but my dad always says one Friday changes everything. And I think that Border 2 has changed this for me, and I'm just very excited for what's to come now. Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
There's a long road ahead in front of you.
Yes,
Thank you so much for
fingers
everything.
crossed.
Turns out to be a blockbuster.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.